move from our theme of employee engagement, but we sort of are going to lean more on the empowerment bit here, right? And the example we have like chosen here is of a retail industry. We all know about retail. We all love shopping, right? So we thought of choosing a frontline worker persona scenario for a retail store. But before deep diving into that scenario, I would want to emphasize or add more color to what is a frontline worker persona, right? So today, you and me here, like most of us on the call, and including my colleagues here, are information workers or are desk workers. What we do is we build strategies, we build plans in our respective horizontals to move our business forward, right? But there are people who are on the ground who make this plan real for us operationally. And these people are like frontline workers. They can be nurses and clinicians at your hospital, our crew team in an airline industry, and the people or the people who manage the operations of a flight takeoff or a flight take-in, store associates in a retail industry, on-ground salespeople, and of course, like construction workers in a big construction firm somewhere in Middle East. So these are the people we are talking about, the personas, right? Why are they important? Because we build information workers headquarters will build plans, right? But these are the people who will make it real operationally. That's one. And second, most of the times these people are customer facing. They are a big part of your customer experience, and that is why they are the one who represent your brand. So it is very important that we empower them with the right tools so that they can collaborate and do work more efficiently, right? Because if we don't empower them with tools, they're going to find the right tools for themselves. And these tools can be like shadow IT tools like WhatsApp or whatever is popular in the region, and then expose the organization to a security and compliance risk. Correct? So moving on to our use case, what we are going to do today here is, what we are going to imagine today here is a big box retail store, right? And possibly a retail store where a warehouse is attached to it. And our personas today we can meet here are Adi, who is a store associate.
Um,
Uh,
Amira raised her
just
hand,
1 minute, let me
usually what we did.
mute. Yeah, thank you. Are you guys able to hear me? Okay, thanks, Vinay. So uh, we have Adi is the store associate. His day-to-day responsibilities are, in a retail store, uh, managing the customers, managing their requirements, getting them the right products, and also, taking stock of the inventory, making sure that the shelves are filled properly so that customers get what they want. And also, Babak here. Babak manages the warehouses. Whenever there is a requirement of restocking or stocking the shelves, Babak goes around the warehouse, finds where the products are placed, picks it up using a forklift or something, and makes sure that this product reaches the main retail store where customers can have access to it or store associates can have access to it. In today's scenario, what the as is situation is like, most of the times the inventory management is done using SAP or any backend systems, which are so heavy that they cannot be surfaced back to devices which our frontline workers use, right? So that is why frontline workers heavily are dependent on like a paper pen system where they manage inventory on Excel sheets, or like literally taking printout of those Excel sheets and manage checklisting them on their own. And if that becomes cumbersome for communication, they just pick out their phone, send a message on WhatsApp, or just take the photo and share all this crucial critical information on WhatsApp or any other shadow IT tool, which exposes the organization to a lot of security and compliance risk, right? Now we want to get to a future state where all of this can be managed on Teams. And let us look at how that will be done, right? So we talked about Adi, who is a store associate. Let's see what happens in a day of a store associate. One of the customer will approach Adi and say that I want these bulbs, but I can only see, I want to do 8 purchase, but I want to purchase 8 bulbs, but I can see only 5. So what Adi will do is he wants to restock, right? So using the app in Microsoft Teams itself. So just want to highlight this. He will look up using a QR or barcode because he knows the product. He can just take the product, look up and see what is the stock available in the warehouse, because right now there are only 5 units and Adi or the customer needs 8. And this is a completely ad hoc requirement, right? So within Microsoft Team, he gets visibility to everything. What is the quantity available in workhouse, what warehouse, what is the price, what is the minimum level, etc. Right? And what he notices is, yes, warehouse can suffice this requirement. So instead of getting on a call or getting on WhatsApp, they use the out of the box capability of walkie-talkie on Microsoft Teams. And this is when you get, if you have Microsoft Teams, if you are licensed, this will come out of the box. You don't have to do any additional deployment or installation, right? So using walkie-talkie, he reaches out to the warehouse ops team and just broadcasts the message. Team, I need 8 or whatever, 7 Philips Hue bulbs. The customer is waiting for the same, right? Once that's done, meet Babak, who was our warehouse picker, right? He listens to the message and he listens to the broadcast from Adi. What he does is now he needs to fulfill that. So since this is like an ad hoc requirement, Babak needs to look at the SKU, right? And since he doesn't have the product handy, cannot use the barcode or QR code. So we have given an option in this scenario to locate it just by typing the name. And Babak exactly does the same. He types that, okay, I need Philips bulb and blah, blah, blah. And this is how it will be shown. This is the warehouse map. And he exactly locates that in C4 aisle, I will have 8 bulbs. OK, so Babak walks up to the aisle using the QR code scanner. He slowly starts picking up, the stock, right? 1, 2, 3. And as long as these items are added, Babak knows that, OK, I am going to fulfill this request and the inventory stock at the back end is also going to get updated, right? Once that's done, Babak also gets a low inventory alert. Let's say a warehouse needs to stock minimum 10 Philips bulbs. That is basis the demand forecasting that has happened. But if the stock goes beyond that, Babak gets an alert right in the Teams chat. And not only that, to close the loop or to manage the scenario end to end, Babak can also, or the warehouse picker can also submit a request to reorder that. And the same request will be sent to a channel where people can take care of the request and fulfill it, right? And we are shortly going to see that. Now, what we observed here was a scenario when a store associate was randomly accosted by a customer, and it was ad hoc requirement, which Adi and Babak managed end to end on Teams. So that was seamless. But there are times when you do this proactively. When a store associate has to do a routine checkup, they will go aisle by aisle for the products they are responsible for, and then see if they are stocked enough. So once such scenario happens and Adi wants to request for a restock. So this is, as I already told, it's not ad hoc. This is more of a proactive restock request. So he will request for a restock and start adding products by either by scanning through barcodes, and you see the list of products come, the different SKUs come as well as soon as you have scanned it or searched by the name. And once this list is ready, country bean, whatnot, this list is ready of the aisle or of the area that Adi is supposed to take care of, or the store associate is supposed to take care of. He'll submit the restock request, and once the restock request is submitted, it comes to the channel. And here is the power of Teams which comes into play. Now this is a channel. It is not sent to one particular person, right? Since this is a channel, it is full of warehouse pickers or warehouse managers, right? So once the request falls in the form of an adaptive card or a beautiful interface here, which we've seen, anybody can assign this request to himself. So if Babak is not free, or if XYZ store associate is not free, not a problem. We have multiple store associates looking after this request. So they will first, what they will do is they will assign a picker, or they will assign it themselves. Now, once the picker is assigned, they will start picking each and every items. If you see, there are 4 or 5 items here on the screen. And what the Teams app will do is it will show that every item. So item number 1 is on this item 2 is this, and it will also create a sort of a path which the warehouse picker has to follow so that the restock request is taken care of and fulfilled. So once that's done, we so once that's done, the pickup items are picked, and what we'll do is the request will be fulfilled and it can be handed over, and the store associate in the backend can in the store can just put it on the aisles and make sure that the inventory is up to date, right? Not only that, this also is taking care of the warehouse aspect, not just store house, right? Not just the store. Many a times the warehouse stocks will keep on depleting and we'll need to replenish the inventory. So there will be a proactive alert on the warehouse stock saying that, hey, this you have only 6 bulbs remaining. So we can request that for restock easily. The warehouse manager will see this and request that for restock. If you see, this app will be in the personal scope of the warehouse manager. Once the restock is done, you can mention the quantity, you can mention the urgency of the shipping, etc. All the price will be shown, and not only that, the restocking order, you can track it through Teams. And you would ask me, like, why should this surface on Teams, or rather I have like ordering mechanisms. I can order from Amazon or whatever delivery partner I have. That still will continue, but the information will surface on Teams because that's where most of the employees spend the time. So you don't have to switch to a different app, check, then update your team about where is the location of the consignment, etc. All that naturally surfaces on Teams, and you have the information right there. So basically, you can consider Teams as Vinay said, right? It's a system of engagement. But it is a system of engagement on top of all your systems of information which you have invested in, so that because you have invested, you can make most of it by surfacing all this information on Teams.